across the left field wall. Yeah, boy.
Yes, yes, Jackie hit that ball.
And when he swung his bat, the crowd went wild because he knocked that ball a solid mile. Yeah, boy.
Yes, yes, Jackie hit that ball.
I do think that Jack's entry and successful integration of baseball made a tremendous difference that went well beyond athletics.
Now here's Robinson coming into the picture. You see, the first colored fellow that ever came in, belatedly. The very first move I made when I came into Brooklyn was to investigate the first problem of the six that faced me in the employment of Negro, and that was the approval, the support of ownership. I couldn't do anything without ownership being back of it.
He was one of those people who impressed me immediately with his integrity, that he was bluff and he was outspoken and he was opinionated, and right from the beginning, because he did so much back room work with Jack and me, and so much thoughtful preparation for the experiment, and really didn't enter it in an ambivalent way. He entered it in a committed way, and that therefore allowed him to set up a strategy that was very important to the success of it in the end. And I really loved him. He was warm, he was generous. In quiet moments, he was a person you could learn from, was thoughtful. Great man.
When Mr. Rickey told me in March of 1945 that he was going to bring a black player, he didn't know which one, but he was going to bring one to the White Dodgers. Knowing Mr. Rickey as I did, I knew that if he said he was going to do it, he was going to do it. You have to keep in mind I was born in Mississippi, and at 10 my family moved to Central Florida. I went to a segregated university, all white, at the University of Florida. My entire training had been to be white. And I came home and told my wife I didn't know whether I could go through with that. And I had to do some hard thinking. And I began to realize that I'd had no choice, the parents I'd been born to, what color my skin was. And therefore I shouldn't be so high and mighty about it. And I began to realize what a splendid job I had, the best in sports broadcasting, and I'd helped create it. And then I remembered what Judge Landis had told us before my broadcast of the 1935 World Series. All the networks then carried that World Series. The room was full of announcers and radio executives, and he just said, in effect, you let the players play. Don't try to play. You just report what they do. You let the managers manage. Don't try to manage at the microphone. Just report what the managers do, and certainly don't you try to umpire. Let the umpires umpire. You just report what they do. And he said, if a ball player should suddenly walk over to the rail box and spit in my face, don't have a feeling for the commissioner, just report what happens. And if I have a reaction, report it. Gentlemen, leave your opinions in your hotel room and report. And then it became very easy for me, thinking in terms of this black player coming, whose name I had never known, and wouldn't know until he came, that all I had to do, I wasn't the manager, it wasn't the players, I wasn't Mr. Rickey, all I had to do was to report what this player did, no matter what color his skin was. And that's all I did about Robinson. And it was very easy, and I don't think I ever got a critical letter from a white person or a black person.
There was only one Jackie Robinson. Thank goodness he was a teammate of mine.
Jackie and I were close friends. He was a good booster of mine. He used to come over in the infield and give me some real words of encouragement when I needed them. But I told Jackie one time, I said, you know, you get a lot of credit for helping your race. The fact is, you helped the white race a lot more. I think he did. I think he helped us have sensitivity to what a person is, regardless. And Jackie belonged to big leagues. He belonged there because he was one of the best players ever to play. He not only was that, he had such a strong character and a beautiful wife, Rachael, behind him, who I know he must have gone home at night so frustrated. And Rachael must have been the calming part of his life that gave Jackie the strength to come back the next day and do it again.
He didn't have to tell me what the pressures were. I was there and experienced them with him, so that they were enormous. There were periods of intense stress and prolonged stress, and you didn't quite know where the attack was coming from. But also, along with that, there were hidden sources of support that we wouldn't have anticipated either.
Well, you asked me about playing with him and everything, and when I'd go home and they'd ask me about this particular thing, I'd tell them, if Campanelli or Robson, it don't matter. If they hit the run in, it means as much to me as if Reese or Hodges hit it in. And every man on the team felt that way. So, man, it was just, in my opinion, it was just a good thing all along. Yes, he done a lot for me, tell you that, as a white man. He done a lot for me, and him and Campia too. Campia's a great man, and so I agree with Erskine. He sure did. And you know, this old country needed something like that, about like that then, because it had to come, and to be in my opinion, to be first class nation, people, and everything, we've got to gel together. It just got to be done, and I think he done as much for the whites as he did the blacks right there.
Jackie. He's an earth force, filtered through a personality. There's so many stories. One that I remember, when I was ghosting Jackie's column, Red Smith used to say, I've worked for all magazines, living and dead. I also have worked for all magazines, living and dead. This dead magazine was called Our Sports, and Jack would give me the topic of the column and would chat with me for a while, and then I would type it, and Jack would look it over, and Rachael Robinson would check my subjunctives. So, Jack said, my feud with Leo is over. I think that would be a good column. And there had been a lot of bad blood between the two of them, and DeRocher made offers of peace, and now Robinson was going to say in his column in his magazine that he was accepting them. And so I'm getting to the end of the column, and I have Jack say in the column, Leo says I'm his kind of ball player, period, and now I write, well, he's my kind of man. Jack said, you got a pencil? I said, yeah. He crossed out man and wrote manager. That was Jack. Ghosted for him. I did the typing, but the ideas were Jack's. I think of this wonderfully gifted player, this wonderfully intelligent, very sensitive, very vulnerable man. And what I think most of all is, long after baseball, when he was so sick with his virulent diabetes, and he died a little every day, and he was blinder a little every day, and he talked, he knew the end was coming, but he never whined, he never complained. One day, I called him about something, and I said, how you doing? And he said, not bad for an old man going blind. And I said, Jack. He said, oh, no, I'm fine. And when his son died, I called, and it's pretty hard to say to somebody, well, we all know it. What do you say to somebody who's lost his son? And I kind of choked up. And I said, Jack, I'm just trying to say, you have our love. And Jack said, you don't have to say that. By making the phone call, you already did.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Robinson.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only say this is one of the truly great moments of my life, and to be here with Roy and Sandy and to see the way that the O'Malleys have reacted is awfully important to me. And I want to thank them for all the many, many opportunities they've afforded me. And I'm sure that in the immediate future, things are going to improve a great deal. So to be here today is a real thrill. And I want to again say it's a pleasure to be here. And I'm grateful to everything that has happened. Thank you very much.
He almost had a nervous breakdown. Jackie almost went crazy, because he could not let this venom that was inside him come out, all this response to all of this, because he happened to have black skin. And these kids today don't remember him. They take all of the millions of dollars that they make, and they don't remember Jackie Robinson. Don't you let them see this show and listen to Don Newcomb say that they better start remembering who Jackie Robinson was. They better start remembering the roots and where they came from. And I thank God for Jackie Robinson.